Yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, yeah, good segue. 2012. So you play your freshman, sophomore, and junior year at Birmingham Southern. Absolutely rake. Get some looks, just like you said. Got that exposure. 2012, drafted by the Oakland Athletics, second round, 62nd overall. Going to the minor. So first of all, before you even get into minor league life, what's that like, bro? Like, was it phone call? Yo, like, what's going through your head?
Yeah, it was actually sick. So, so I hadn't talked to the A's for, I don't know, a couple weeks before the draft started, like at all. And so I'm listed, like when you look at the pre-draft predictions, at first I was like, all right, he's going like, 4 to 6 rounds. And then it's like, all right, we're going like 10 to 12 round. And then when the pre-draft predictions come out, I wasn't even listed in the top 500 prospects for the draft. And I was listed as a potential sleeper in the draft class. And then like when the first day rolled around, the first round, nothing. So I'm just like, all right, well, I'm projected to go 4 to 6. So, 2 through,
yeah.
well, yeah, 2 through 10 was like the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually woke up that morning about 30 minutes before draft started. Like woke up, got some coffee, walked in the living room with my dad. We had all the slot prices and stuff printed out because that was the first year of the new CBA, the current CBA.
Yep.
And so I didn't have an agent, right? Because it wasn't difficult, like and so I was like, all right, so we're sitting here, and then I get a call like 10 minutes before draft started from the A's, and they were like, hey, we want you to go in the second round, either second pick or like the bottom of second round, but same amount of money. But it was also if you were there, And I was like, shit. I was like, second pick, like first pick, second pick. He was like, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
And so, and then it's funny because the Astros called me right after that. They had the first pick of the round. And so the A's offered me $700,000 plus my schooling to go second pick. Astros were like, what's your bottom number? And I was like, 750. Mind you, slot for the first pick of the second round was like 900 something. And they called me back in like 2 minutes. They were like, you're not 750 for us. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go right after you. Like it's fine. And so I ended up getting drafted. The people on the broadcast didn't even have anything to like say.
No,
they were like,
yeah.
What the hell?
Comparison, equivalent, what to look
Dude,
for.
no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
Bro, that's the story of our life.
And it was sick. I mean, it was. And it was like, my family was happy. All my friends were dope. I had like 2 camera crews, like news crews come to my house once I found that out.
Yeah.
It was in the paper. I mean, everything, dude. Like it was insane. It was an insane experience for sure.
I hate when like broadcasters, like, sure, like, okay, you're not gonna know all of the picks, but like you hear it in their voice, and they're like, and the A select Bruce Maxwell. It's like, all right, bro, like, come on, fam, show me some respect. But anyway,
yeah, no, it's
not to hear that. But yeah, I mean, okay, so let's hop a couple years ahead then. Just really quick, just because you mentioned the Houston part, which I didn't know about. You hit your first major league homer off fucking Houston. Like, did you think about that shit at all from the draft thing, or not really?
No, actually, man, I didn't. My biggest thing going in the draft was getting a fair opportunity.
Right.
I wasn't going to get shafted. I wasn't going to sign for $50,000.
Nope.
Like none, especially in a high draft pick, a high round. I wanted my fair opportunity. And that was the biggest thing. I didn't even think about that shit because I mean it wasn't
coincidence.
Like I didn't.
Plus, it's all years later.
Yeah, it was funny, and I didn't even think about that until you just brought it up.
Yeah, no, me neither. That's funny.
I literally haven't.
But bro, before you got to the bigs, right? Minor league life, bam. Tell me what's minor league life like? So we hear all these stories,
man,
but it's just like, like what are the?
There's some tough, very tough places in the Oakland organization. The minor league life is not for the ill-hearted.
Facts.
That's for damn sure. it definitely touched your love for the game. It touched your love to get better. It man, it tests a lot, dude. It tests your self control, your self will, your everything, dude. Discipline, resilience, because it's hell. It really is, especially in the lower levels, dude. Like our low A, for example, was in Beloit, Wisconsin, which is, just put it this way, like we left in March, into March, spring training. I drove there, like a couple of us drove there. We left Phoenix, Arizona. I left at 3, 4 in the morning. It's probably 80 degrees, 75 degrees. I got to Wisconsin the next night and it was like 17. And we have a game in like 3, 4 days.
Yeah.
Never been so cold in my life.
Yeah, bundle up, maybe. We got to get 4.
Bro, that's like the next day we went to the field to get uniforms fitted and all stuff. Yeah. We had a scrimmage that day. We couldn't even pitch inside to our own hitters because they didn't want anybody to get hit. I couldn't even catch the ball half the time because it was so damn cold. And then I mean, dude, it's tough, dude. You play in some shitty places, bad fan bases, tough clubhouses, but it's part of that process, dude. When you get up to we got to AA, which is out in Midland, Texas. You got 8 teams in this whole league, 8, 4 on each side. So it's like, you want to talk about testing some resilience and when you play, it's like you play 2 teams a week. You play them like at your place and then you go to their place. And then you play them at your place and then you go to their place. And then it's like, okay, we're going to sprinkle in a week of the other side, which in Midland, by far worst bus trips ever when you go to the other side. So it's like, we had the Cardinals AA team in Springfield, the Angels, the Royals, and somebody else. And it's like you go to Springfield from Midland, it's like 14 hours bus trip, no planes, 14-hour bus trip. You go to Northwest Arkansas, it's 12 and a half, 13. Like you go to Tulsa, it's 12. Like, it's miserable, dude. Like, it really is. And it's just like, some of those ballparks get a little better, but it's still a tough lifestyle, bro. AA baseball is, a lot of people say it's where hitters go to die. Because every AA league is in the South. So ball doesn't fly anywhere. It's hotter than hell in the summertime. And it teaches you some things about, especially as a hitter, it teaches you how to hit. Like, it really does. We had a very, very tough ballpark in Midland. Very tough for lefties, specifically. But it teaches pitchers how to use their fastball and be able to pitch with it, because if they don't, exactly. And it teaches hitters how to become more complete hitters, because if you don't learn,
you ain't going.
You're not going nowhere. I mean, it is. The minor league life is tough. When you get up to AAA, it's not terrible by any means. You tend to have a more mixed crowd in AAA. You got your rookies, you got your up and down big leaguers, sometimes your seasoned veteran big leaguers that are exactly. The stadiums are better. You travel by plane, but it's still grindy, though.
Yeah,
like, it's still grindy.
Even then, there's still a noticeable difference between AAA and when you're up in the show.
Yeah. Biggest jump in baseball, everybody always says, and I feel like it's true, is between A ball and AA. Because in AAA, you have the biggest thing, I think, in the difference, especially as catcher hitter. The biggest thing I noticed was everybody's pitching staff. Like, you have every one of the starters are like your number one in AAA. Like, but they're more consistent. They might throw a little harder. They might have better shit, clearly, because they're in the big leagues.
Exactly.
But that's the difference. Like, there's no you can't take a pitcher off kind of shit. Like, that was the difference. Like, you're running against their A1s in every position, every time somebody steps on the mound, it's their guy. Like, and so that's the biggest difference between AAA and the big leagues to me. And you know, it's definitely a hard road to travel.
Right. And I think even like your process then while you're in it is like, especially like the places that you mentioned and the travel you had to endure. I'm sure that mentally you're like, if I can conquer this, I can conquer that shit when things get all rainbows and flowers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I feel that. I feel that. So yeah, I mean, that's a good glimpse of minor league life. I mean, you just feel the energy shifts. Just talking about it, man. It's a tough time. It's a tough time, especially with things being like so realigned now. You know, like Staten Island Yankees
Yeah.
are no longer a thing. You know, so I mean, that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, moving on though. Yeah, I mean, I did have this in my notes here for 2015, first taste of WBC international play. So you're invited to rep Team Germany. So I think it's like, I think I read, dude from player development for Oakland, like came to you and was like, hey, like, Germany's got some interest. It was just funny because like in this past one, like I was on the other side of that. But anyways, for your original one, yeah, like what was that like? Where you're like, yo, like, damn, like I could play at the WBC. Like that's dope.
Well, yeah, they reached out to me in the off season, like in probably like November ish, and actually, probably October, November ish, and they called me from an international number.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so like I ignored it, and they called me back. And I was like, hello, and they were like, hey, this is so and so. This is Bruce Maxwell. I was like, the baseball player, and they were like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, it's me. What's going on? And he was like, hey, I'm so and so. I'm the German ambassador of athletics in Germany. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, hi.
Right.
What's up? He was like, we have a qualifier coming up in the spring, and we want to know if you're interested in playing for us. I was like, you guys want me to play for Team Germany in the Classic? He was like, yeah. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, of course. No questions.
I was like, you gotta clear with my team because we're in spring training. So my team was cool with it. I went and got my passport, all that stuff, like, and it was sick, dude. I told you, we hopped on the bus from Arizona. So there was one bus that picked up all of the players for the 4-team qualifiers, and that were all in Arizona. We all hopped on the same bus, drove across the border to Mexicali. We show up down there. I end up knowing half of Team Mexico, like from the States. And I knew 2 dudes on my team. And it was a crazy environment, dude. It was cool to wear the country colors, man. Have Deutschland on the front of your jersey. It's funny too, because like the first day of practice we had, I can't remember who it was, but somebody that was up, like higher up, and they were like, walked up to me and they were like, "Are you the American?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah. What gave it away?
I mean, yeah. And so like, mind you, there's 2 of us on this team that don't speak German, that we were military brats, but everybody else either lived still in Germany and spoke German, in English, right, or they're straight up German, And so it was interesting, dude. First day hitting batting practice, I'll never forget it. Everybody was like, yo, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, mashing, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And so they were like, yo, this motherfucker might be like legit.
Yeah.
And so so we get into our first game, dude. First game. And
who'd y'all have?
We had Nicaragua first game. So my first at bat, I ground out. Next at bat, hit a single to center. My third at bat, I come up. We got runners at first and second. It's still 0-0. And hit an 0-2 changeup, dead center, like 450. Like just loud. And I was like, hell yeah. And I remember this. I told my mom this. I remember that so vividly because when I came across home plate, I was so excited about playing for a country.
Yes.
Like playing for, it might just be like, I don't have any German heritage in my family, not for real. But like for them to want me, because it's where I was born, to participate and to compete for them was something that was big, like emotionally for me and in my life, because I'm sitting here an American and I've never gotten a call for the USA team,
Yes, sir.
at that time. And so, and like I said, I know there's more top priority guys for the USA team. I get that, like whatever. But to be able to represent a country like that is huge, and I've never been so proud to wear those team colors. And we got 2-and-outed, But when I went back to the States, man, to finish out spring training, it was just like a breath of fresh air for me. It was because that whole time I was in Mexico playing for that qualifier, I wasn't worried about my personal stats. I was worried about being the best for my team, like to win. And so it really changed how I looked at the game of baseball after that, And so we went into that year, and I ended up getting to the big leagues in 16.
Sir.
It was actually that same year. Yeah, that was in the spring of 16. Yeah. I knew I messed that up. So that was in the spring of 16, and I ended up going to AAA. Hit about 330 with 10 or 11, thrown out over 50% of runners, and I ended up getting my debut on July 22nd, dude. It was insane.
Yeah. So you walk into the Oakland clubhouse and you're like, what's that like? Do they got a nice clubhouse? The home one? Athletics? Yeah. I didn't think so. I mean, the stadium.
Everything's old. I mean, it's not bad, but I mean, like, everything's just older in that stadium, dude. It's not like you walking in the Yankee Stadium.
I was going to say, I didn't look at your game log, or at least I didn't have the chance to. You play in New York at all? Yeah. I'm sure visiting clubhouse better than most teams' home clubhouse.
Wow. That shit was dope. We've been to some places, man. It was pretty cool, man. It was good, man. When the day I walked up, I walked into the clubhouse and gave Coco Crisp a big ass hug, because he's like my big brother. He's mentored me for years, and I promised him in like 2013, because I was in big league spring training, 2014 actually, big league spring training every single year. And I told him, I was like, before you retire, I'm going to lace up my cleats with you for at least one game.
That's awesome, bro.
He goes, I'll hold you to that. And I was like, all right. So I walk in the clubhouse. He's the first person I said something to. Came a big ass hug, and I said, I told you, I'm coming. Like blah blah.
Yeah.
And and then he gets traded like a month later.
Yeah, sick. You're like, help me. I
was like, come on, man. Like, damn.
It's dope that you
but
and that you were able to do your work.
Yeah, it was a good experience, man. I played well that year. Years following that didn't really pan out as I thought they would, but I mean, shit happens.
But yeah, I mean, so we talked about like first time walking to our clubhouse, first big league homer. Brad Peacock. 16, 1-1 count, 1-1 game, 2 outs, bottom of the second. And he looked like he left like a slider. It was 80 miles an hour. Like, it had to be like fucking hanger. Just straight up hanger.
Yeah.
And you kind of
I don't
like oppo gap. It's like left center.
Like it was I think he tried to throw me a backdoor for a strike.
Yeah.
And I mean, the middle of the field is kind of my game.
Yeah.
And so it just caught too much plate.
Yeah.
And I was looking for it because Peacock at the time, Peacock was a big like sinker slider guy. Mm-hmm. Like, so I had to pick a side of the plate, you thought. Exactly. So I don't think he thought I was looking for it, because I really wasn't. I just saw it really well. And I mean, I launched it, and as soon as I hit it, bro, I took off out of the box.
Did you? So you didn't?
No. So I knew I crushed it, but we also have a 40-foot wall.
Right?
And so I'm one of those that I don't hit many. In my career so far, I haven't hit many like just super no doubt like homers. But me being not fleet of foot,
right?
Just in case that shit hits off the wall, bro, I need to be standing up on second, if not going to third type shit.
Wheels.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, as soon as I hit it, bro, I finished my swing and I took off running. Mm-hmm. And then they stopped running, and I looked up and I was like, oh shit.
Like a show.
And so it was awesome. It was really awesome to have that experience, especially in Oakland as well.
Yeah.
You know, that was my time there was historic for me. To be able to step in the box and step on the field with, you know, the Ricky Hendersons and, you know, the Jose Cansecos and all that stuff, like to be
Yeah.
able to play on that same field, dude.
Yeah.
Dave Stewart's a big one for me.
Yep.
But to be able to do that shit in a stadium that means like that, it was huge for me. It's huge. I enjoyed majority of my time there.
Yeah, bro. For sure. Yeah, I want to make it out there, but I don't know what exactly their future is right now. So with them. But anyways, I mean, moving on. Let's talk about a little bit more. Not necessarily Oakland, but really just like the mental headspace you were in Oakland. So um, just like we had talked about prior, just to gloss over, 2017, Bruce Maxwell is the first Major League Baseball player to kneel for the anthem, and that's met with, criticism, just very much mixed reaction. Then the same way it is now. I want to pivot more toward like the mental component because there's so much shit out there on that and the reaction and what you went through and what happened in the years to follow. That doesn't need to be rehashed because that shit is already out there. I wanted to focus again specifically between the years. Like, who did you turn to? Like, who was in your corner? Who was in your circle? Who were the people that you were immediately hitting up and kind of leaning on when shit was like really rough?
I honestly didn't hit anybody up.
Mm.
It was something that I had a couple of older players, some OGs that reached out to me that I'm friends with. Coco Crisp, Torrey Hunter, Adam Jones, who was still playing.
Yeah.
But he's really the only one that really hit me up that was currently playing. But I also have a personal relationship with Adam Jones. But those are really the only guys, man. Like I knew mentally, I knew what was coming my way because of where I grew up and how shit like that happens.
Yep.
But I didn't understand in what capacity and darkness that was coming. It put me in a very negative light. It put me in like a abyss, pretty much, that I could still do my job and I could still play, but it was a lot more difficult to block it out because because literally when I did it, we were playing Texas and then we turned around and went to Texas.
Yep.
And so, you got guys, yelling at me, calling me the N-word while I'm hitting in the dugout during the anthem. Everybody's clapping when I get out.
Yeah.
Like this, and they don't even know me. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a lot, man. And for a couple years, dude, it really affected other things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really talk to my family about it. Not because they didn't understand at what capacity. I was in a suicidal situation shortly after that. But when I got out of that, man, and when I got out of that, it was just more of like trying to find what makes me happy again. I lost the love of the game of baseball at that point in time because everybody hated my ass in the game of baseball for the most part. But I had no help either. Like there was no players that reached out to me to support me.
Yep.
Nobody checked on me in the off season.
Yep.
Nothing. Like everybody was pretty much about themselves, which hot topic, dude. Like whatever,
Yep.
I get it, but
Right.
it didn't make things easier.
Yeah, which is detailed in that long ass ESPN article. Which I mean, look, like don't get it twisted. I'm glad they covered you. It's a long article, right? So I mean, it is worth reading. And like I just like how like candid you were. You were just like, like straight up, where the fuck were y'all at? I was in the trenches back then. Now it's cool. Now it's fashionable. Now you got corporations that are like, yeah, man. And it's like, like this ain't a fad, bro. Like this is my life. Like I got for you. You're like, I got this shit tattered on me, like straight up.
Well, yeah. I mean, I tell people like, it's and I've got friends of mine that are activists and all stuff, and I speak on this part because this is my life. But I tell people, I was like, it's as simple as people try to make this argument, what we're talking about. I'm like, dude, we can't erase us being black. Like,
No.
we can't change it during the daytime. We can't take it off when we go to sleep. Like, it's a lifestyle for us. And I was like, in me where I'm growing up, when I grew up, you know, I got shit from me and my sister got shit from both sides of people, black and white people, because we were not enough for one side.
Yes.
And I was like, so this has been my life, my whole thing. And so once I realized what I was and who I was, like for real, I came down here to Mexico and play. And these people down here actually saved my career and saved my life. Like, I had lost hope in the States before I came down here. I had lost hope in people, just in general.
Yeah.
Um,
Humanity.
Humanity and just in general, dude. Like, I didn't enjoy the game of baseball in the States anymore at that time.
Correct.
And I came down here to Mexico, bro. I played for the Acereros de Monclova in 2019, and we ended up winning the championship, first time in 45 years in our history of our team.
Yep.
And these people down here just welcomed me with open arms, and they just wanted to win. They didn't give a shit how we did it. We won, and I was a starting catcher. Caught 110 games. You know, played through a couple injuries, but our whole team, dude, it reminded me of playing for Team Germany again. It was like all we did was everybody played for the name on the front and the name on the back.
And for each other.
Exactly. I mean, we played for everybody in our dugout, you know what I'm saying? And we played for the city, we played for this country. Like it was a blast. I've never had so much fun playing baseball in my life. And so last year was a magical year for me. It resurrected my love for the game of baseball again, and it resurrected who I was as a person, dude. It was huge.
Well, you were talking about your time in Mexico. So when we were in Arizona, there were a few conversations where Mexico wasn't even necessarily brought up, but you would bring up Mexico because you loved it that much. How'd you adjust? Like, first of all, like, what went into the decision for Mexico? Like, why Mexico? It's a great place. I've been, but like, why there? And like, how do you adjust to kind of just your life?
Mean, when I got in 2018 was my last year with the A's, and their owner, president, called me in that offseason and wanted me to start and catch for the team. Never heard of it. Never been to Mexico. Definitely never been to the city. But I didn't even know. And so when we got around after New Year, I had no other offers in the States. I'm not even close to having interest. And so I was like, you know what? I don't have any other options. Let's go make the best of it. You know, fuck it. And so I came down here, bro, and it was funny. So I walked in here, and half of my team, I knew who they were. We knew each other, but we had like 5, 6 big leaguers on our former big leaguers on our team that I played against that I knew. Yeah. So I was like, oh shit, all right, like this is awesome. Yeah. And so it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but then just day to day, man, just coming down here, like the fans really, really, really love. Like I'll tell you this. After knowing people that play baseball in other countries and are from other countries and stuff, I really, 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 really feel like over in Japan and Korea, and then here in Mexico, the people love baseball more than the people in the States.
They ride.
Like legitimately love baseball. Like these people come out with drums, horns, packing out every night, like everything, dude. It's
9 innings. Yeah.
Oh, bro, it's crazy, bro. They show up in the first, second inning. They're an hour before the game starts.
Yep.
And it's a big deal, bro. It's really is. And just to see and just to feel like the city basically, you know, giving me like a key, be like, we want you, like our ownership was telling me to lead our team to a championship. The comfort and the trust that they gave me. Because they know I did my homework and I had the credentials to be reputable. But that encouraged me to work harder every day. And that made it encourage me to study more every day to make sure that we were on our A1 shit every single day while I was behind the plate. And so, I mean, it ended up winning a championship, dude. I've never had a better moment in my career about winning championship. And it was here in our city. It was grindy. It was difficult, a lot of pain, for the whole team, a lot of pain. that we overcame, a lot of team camaraderie. It was huge, bro. It was big time to see the happiness and the tears and the joy that was this city had and continues to have, was 110% something that I would never give up in my entire life. Like it's something, and I still live here in the city to this day. I have a house here, and these people still call me, a champion. And these people down here love me, and it's awesome, bro. I love it here.
Yeah, just like Germany, like they're like, yo, like not only do we want you, but like you're ours, and like there's a distinction to be made there. And when the two come together, bro, I mean, it only elevates your level of production, your level of play, and quality of life overall. Like
Oh
I,
yeah, dude. The team Germany hit me up, and they were like, "Yo, you still playing?" I was like,
this is
"Yeah,
this
when is
past
it?"
year, like 2020,
Yeah,
19, yeah.
yeah. They called me and they were like, "Yo, you playing again this year?" I'm like, "Yeah, if you want me to."
Let's go.
The hell you mean? I'm like, yeah, 100%. I'm playing. I'm like, because once I played once, I loved it, and they loved me, and so I was like, hell yeah, I'm coming back. Like,
Something I talked about with Julius last week, and yes, it was about locker rooms, but just about like the feeling of feeling welcomed and also being wanted. And I equated that in the locker room and being on the field, how that elevates your productivity and level of play to in the workplace. Bro, like if I know that like my boss like got me, bro, I'm riding out for you. If I don't feel that vibe, or if I just don't feel wanted or whatever, I'm just like, yo, like I'm clocking out at 5 and you're not hearing me from me until Monday morning, straight up. And like, yo, because we're humans too. Like you as a ball player, me as a fucking employee. You know what I mean? Like it's just literally how it goes.
that's everywhere though. I mean, in relationships, work,
That's a fact.
friends, everything. No, it's like when I came down here, I could feel immediately that these guys down here wanted me.
Mhm.
When I got to the Mets this year, like I got to the alternate side of the Mets here, and I could tell that these guys believed in me and wanted me. Like, and I did well, man. I ended up hitting really well and performing really well, and they got me a contract for next season.
Yeah.
But it's like I enjoyed it. Like I had fun. I busted my ass because I felt like for the first time in a long time, I felt like I'm somewhere where somebody truly wants me to succeed for them. Like and it was awesome, man. It was a great feeling for me this year in New York, up in New York, out in Brooklyn. And I'm excited about going into spring training next season and potentially, contributing to their big league team and hopefully help them get to a World Series, man. It's just I'm overly excited about going back to the Mets. I spent my whole career with Oakland. Um, and so to go to the other side, the other side, go to a different site for spring training, play against new people. Like I'm excited about it, bro. It's gonna be awesome.
We talked about this when the signing became official in like mid-July. That I fucking live like 3.4 miles away from City Field. Like I walk there, bro. Like it's right there. Like I'm dead ass looking out the window in the direction of City Field. So hopefully, yeah, bro, that you do pop out.